What's up? Ian from Powerhouse Miniatures. Welcome to the first tutorial video I'm doing. Tips and tricks, a few things I picked up over the years. This one's going to be stringy, slime and blood effect. So if you want to join along, do this with me. You've got, well, you can pause the video, I'm not going to wait for you. But a few little things that you're going to get to start off with. So fresh water and a brush, super glue, Nurgle's rot, blood for the blood god. I've got a model that's good for it, like Patriarch Gozar from Deathwatch Overkill. This is just going to be like a little palette to put some super glue on. I've already got a bit there. 0.15mm fishing line. Yoo-hoo glue, the German stuff, not the one that you can get in the US. Clips, some of the Snipe pliers from Games Workshop, the thin ones. Tweezers and and a brush. So I'll talk about it while I'm waiting for the little bits to dry. But I'm going to demonstrate the little stringy effect on Patriarch Gozar from Deathwatch Overkill. So there's going to be the first little bit on the tongue, one little bit hanging off the finger, and then I'll probably do two separate ones on the tongue. So while they're drying, I'll talk about them, sort of thing. And yeah, you obviously pause the video if you want to join along. So I'm going to do that now because it's going to take a little while. So first thing, I'll get a list of all the things on the screen. Put them on an annotation or something. So it's the tiniest fishing wire I could find, 0.15mm. So I want maybe this, 4 or 5mm in total. So I'm going to grab it, move this out of the way. I'm going to grab it like on the tip, just like so, and then snip it off from underneath, like that. So I've got a small length inside. I'm just going to reposition it, so I've got a small piece just there, and you can just about see it. So you're going to get it with the end, like so. I'm just making sure you can see all of this, like the tiniest, thinnest little thing that's in the edge. And I've got some super glue just there. I use Army Painter. High viscosity is a bit better, but it doesn't really matter which one. I'm going to dab the end in super glue, like so. So there's a little ball of super glue on the end. Then get the model, and then I'm gonna place it on the tongue like this, put it about there, and then just gonna let it sit for 2 or 3 seconds to bond. So yeah, I'm probably gonna do 2 strings off this centre tongue bit, and then 1 off the finger. So it is the bit where you get to sort of place it. If you want it going straight down, then do that. There you go, so it'll stick after just a second, so you can see it. You can see it just there, the tiniest little piece. So yeah, I'm going to do 2 bits like that off that centre bit, and then show 2 different effects, and then a third one coming off the finger. So just again, I'm going to do a slightly shorter bit, just there. I'm not even sure you're going to be able to see half of this, So yeah, 2 tiny little pieces. Like so. So you can see just the glare of them there and there. So I'm going to grab this one. So yeah, it works if you do like 2 different lengths of these things as well. So you can do like, to make it look kind of realistic, like the blooded pool in one side. So again, got the, so against my finger, you can see it, a little length. Get the miniature again. More super glue. And then I'm going to do it on this piece here, like that. And we'll leave it there for about 10 seconds until it starts to dry. It's really fiddly, this bit. This is the worst bit, and I've just sort of cocked that out. There you go. Right. So now there's 2 pieces on the edge. It seems to work best against like a white backdrop, so you can see them sort of there with the glare of the lights. But 2 pieces hanging off the centre. And then in a second I'm going to do 1 off the finger. So this last piece with the tweezers. I suppose you could do this with your fingers if you've got small enough hands, but I really don't. I don't have small enough hands to make that work. So that's the thing. And then yeah, while this is drying, I'll get a I'll explain what I'm going to do, and obviously there's a little bit of drying time involved in between each one. Like the Yoo-hoo glue in a second takes about 5 minutes to dry, so I think the entire thing in total will take about half an hour, but the video I'm going to try and get to about 10 minutes. So there you go. Right, we've got the third piece, and then on the edge of the finger I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to glue it down like that. Leave it there for a second. It seems to set under 30 seconds. Like, it takes less time, I've noticed, than like plastic or something, or metal. But it's just very fiddly holding it still. Holding it still enough for it really to take, you know, take hold, you know, for the super glue to really like start to bond. Like I said, this works with the human hair as well. And it just drops it. So yeah, really, really fiddly this. And so this is the worst bit. So there you go. Right. So now hopefully you can see we've got two drips there, and then one piece just there. So we've got 3 in total. Now the idea is we're going to get this Yoo-hoo glue, and we're going to let it sit for just a second, like so. And then I'm going to dab that on. I'm going to use the blunt end of the brush just to sort of like put it on. In the past as well, there's been a couple of times where I've like put it straight onto the you know, the blue drop straight onto the little piece of fishing wire. But it works better, I think, if you just apply it like manually. So a little bit like that, so there's a blob on the end, and then apply it. So I'm just gonna get this in focus. So apply it to the edge, like so. So you've got like a circle, like that. You see? And then again on the finger. So you sweep by sort of thing. You go straight through and like run the edge of the piece off by the main blob, if you know what I mean. So you sort of run it through, and then it catches on like that. Okay, so all together I've got 1, 2, 3 little bits and pieces that look awesome already. So I'm going to put them down just for a second, and then we'll do a little bit of the talking. So these can go away now. That's pretty much everything. So in total, after these have dried, we're going to give it a few minutes, and then we should be fine to get this out of the way. Now, what I'm going to do is, this finger's already red, so I'm going to do this one as like a red, like a blood effect. And then these two in the centre, one with Nurgle's Rot and then one clear, and then hopefully be able to see in the end the 3 different effects that you can get or make, or that I easily get or make with them. And again, it's really fiddly, and just doing it in the first instance is really difficult, because it's like you've just got to get it right, otherwise you can mess it up. And of course, if you do put the little piece of fishing wire on wrong and it comes off or falls off or anything like that, the super glue you've touched the model with will obviously stay. So like once or twice, if you have, you know, I have messed it up, I'm not gonna lie, like I do make mistakes, and yeah, you're left with a little blob of super glue which is never sightly, and you can paint over it and everything, but it's obviously just not ideal. So yeah, pretty much just waiting for it to dry. Again, it takes like a few minutes, so you can sort of test it with your finger, and if it's still completely wet, then yeah, you're gonna end up ruining the brush if you touch it. So in an ideal world, you would leave it for an hour or something like that till it's like properly actually cured like that. You can see it's not. You can see it's still sort of wet. Now another interesting thing with the Yoo-hoo glue is once it's wet for a while, it'll make a stringy effect. It's like this with the finger. It'll make like a stringy effect. So you can use that as well as like little strings, but the thing has to be wet for a certain period of time before it'll do it. So this one hasn't actually been, you know, I'm just trying to make sure you can see it. Yeah. Right, so they're looking alright for now. So yeah, I'm going to apply the blood effect. So any brush will do, but I'm usually using Winsor & Newton's. Obviously I wouldn't recommend using a good brush for this. In fact I might use one of my shittier ones, just to make sure. So, a bit of water. And then a liberal blob, like so. And then just paint it over the stalk as well, obviously over the little piece of fishing wire as well, is best, like so. So there you go, looking really cool. And altogether, like I said, that'll dry perfectly hard, and it'll stay there for a while. And that in particular, 2 or 3 of those looking really good. Like I said, you can mess about with a shorter one there, longer one here, or like short, medium, long, stuff like that, you know, like it would in real life, like it's sort of pool. Or you can do a smaller blob, a slightly larger blob, and then a bigger one, that sort of thing. And then in the middle, it's going to do this Nurgle's Rot. It works pretty much the same. Just get a little blob of it, just like this, and just paint it over the blob. Again, it looks like slime or spit or something like that. So there you have it. Pretty much good. It may took about 10 minutes, didn't it? Really easy. So yeah, a blood red drop looks really good. The Nurgle drop, and then a clear one. So that would be like spittle or something like that. You know, like coming from the mouth, or like Tyrannus or something. The Nurgle's Rot would be good for, like, obviously Nurgle. Anything that's like slimy or horrible, like the tongue here, is perfect for it. And then blood for the blood. So that's pretty much it. Got any questions or comments, please let me know. And I think it's really easy. It's one of those things that looks really cool, but it's like a really easy effect to achieve. So like, again, actually I'll work on a backdrop or something to take the proper photos with, but that's your lot. So this is the first of several of these. I'll be coming back soon with a few more. If there's anything you want to see, let me know and I'll see what I can do. Otherwise, cheers for watching.